Hello. Let's talk about One Piece. I've been excited to talk about this batch.
Whee!
I'm joined here with Joe and Bradley.
It's
Hello.
me.
Our good friend Tyler could not make it this week, so he will
He's out of town.
he will watch the podcast after to pick up on the conversation. Surely.
So y'all, here's what my strat has been. I've been letting like 3 or 4 chapters build up and then doing them all at once,
And
which is pretty cool.
And it's been nice because we haven't been doing it every break week, so you can stock up a little more than just three. I like reading my manga in threes too with the stuff I'm caught up with. Unless it's like something really good where I will batch it.
Because
longer.
here's the thing, like, whenever I was doing my initial read through, whenever you're reading like all of Dressrosa in a row, individual chapters start to feel really long.
Mhm.
But whenever you're caught up and you're reading weekly, the chapters feel unfairly short.
And you're like, shit, that's it. And like 100
Yeah.
things happen in the chapter, but it's still just
Yeah.
20 pages.
So now I'm like, no, I need to let these build up, or else I'm gonna read it in fucking 5 minutes, and I'm gonna
I'm such the opposite. I will read it and I'll be satisfied for
because you're
the
like,
week.
I can't wait. I literally can't
Ju-
not know what
True.
happens.
Joe's got a good rotation of other stuff you read. Like,
Yeah.
Joe's really good at keeping with like the weekly
there
manga
you go.
schedule because he reads
Uh-huh.
like 4 series weekly.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I give Willer a tap on the shoulder now every Sunday after I read my Akane chapter.
Akane's for real so soon. It's because I'm catching up on Chainsaw Man. I'm running out
Yeah.
of like
I-
delaying
I
the
actually,
battle.
I actually need to catch up on Ichinose because like I kind of fell off the wagon for that one, but that's a whole other topic discussion.
So we're gonna talk about One Piece 1077 to 1081. Y'all, first of all,
Yeah,
just like what last year, 2 years, it feels like last year where Chapter 1000 was a big ass deal. It's probably 3 years ago, which is crazy.
God damn.
We're already closer to 1100 than 1000, and 1000 was such a big milestone. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, Otis out here chugging along. I'm going to quickly summarize the big things that happen each chapter, and we'll do our thing where we talk about our favorite points.
okay.
1077 was continued fighting with the Seraphim, and Shaka gets taken out at the end. 1078, cutting away from a huge incident that Oda hyped up, and the traitor reveal. 1079 was primarily Shanks versus Kid. 1080 was Kobe's attempted escape, sword explanation, and introduction to some of the members, and Garp's arrival. And then 1081 was the Kuzan flashback, Kuzan versus Garp, and Law's escape from Blackbeard. I believe
a lot.
Bradley said this a couple, like a talk or two before, where it's like, when you read these out, it seems like you're reading fan fiction because
Oh my god.
I-
Like this is all stuff that like people daydreamed about years ago.
if you like take it to stock that this is the setup arc to the final arc, how insane is that final stuff going to be if this is like commonplace?
Like Garp showing up to fight Blackbeard's crew to rescue Kobe, that's fan fiction.
And then fighting Kuzan, like never in my dreams,
It's
never in my
insane.
dreams. All right.
Never.
So, who wants to kick off with a discussion topic?
Me.
Go, Bradley.
So it was kind of funny. I think in our last talk, whenever we found out that Kid was rolling up on Shanks, like I think all three of y'all were like, "Oh my god, poor Kid, he's about to get fucking annihilated." And I was like, hold on,"
Oh no!
because I was like, look, how many feats of Shanks have we really seen? The only feat we've seen him do is get his arm eaten. Whereas Kid, he's got the 3 billion bounty. He helped take out Big Mom. I was like,
I mean-
I don't know if it'll be that cut and dry. And
Shanks can do whole country hockey bursts that scare the shit out of admirals.
That's the thing. Like, I was trying to give Kid the benefit of the doubt, and he rolls up and his whole he gets 1-hit KO, and then the rest of his crew is the other 1-hit KO.
Yeah.
So,
God.
okay, how do we feel about this? Because from what I understand, out of this whole batch, this was the controversial chapter for a lot of the fan base. So I want to get y'all's takes on it.
I think this is a way for Oda to establish like why kids in law are not at Emperor tier yet, and that like how much of a gap that still is between the three of them compared to Luffy.
Yeah, because he gave him the same bounties, but it was like
Yeah.
I think he's making it clear it was like in association with the real top dog.
Yes, and I think also it's just to establish like, I think this is also setting up to like, you know, it's a way for Luffy to like actually like step up and be like quote unquote king of the pirates and be inspiration, because now like Law has no crew and needs to get it back. Like if I would like to think Law wants to like will end up going to Luffy either by choice or not.
Definitely not
and
my choice.
Yes, and be like, my crew's in trouble. Blackbeard has them. I need your help. As like an actual kind of like, I save the day and be king of the pirates sort of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And I think for Kid, it's more of the side of like, Kid was going about this in such an aggressive, evil, mean way that like Shanks would have no place of that in this world in terms of pirates, or does not want that to be so.
And I'll point out that's been Kid's story since we met him.
Yes.
He had the highest bounty in Sambodi because he would recklessly attack towns and not give a crap about casualties. And then as soon as he got to the New World, he fought all 3 emperors aside from Shanks.
Blackbeard. Yeah.
Or sorry, aside from Blackbeard, he fought all
Yeah.
3 emperors just because he's like a rabid dog. He's got too much of an ego. So I do think this tracks that like. I'll get into my spiel in a little bit about Kid and like why I think this is actually like a cool setup for some character stuff. But Bradley, what's like your take? Because you seem pretty hopeful for Kid, and the red hairs out here taking themselves out.
Like, I seemed hopeful for Kid, which is why I feel like if this chapter is controversial to people, that would be why, is that he got beaten so easily.
Yeah.
But I kind of like this as establishing where Shanks stands, because here's the thing, like, this whole story up to this point, I've been asking myself, how strong is Shanks really? Because, he'll show up to the Paramount War and tell everyone to go home, and they do.
But you could also argue like they've been fighting and they're not about to take so it's hard to say like is he Whitebeard level? Like what are we talking about?
And we've also seen moments where like Rayleigh shows up and tells people to stop fighting, and they stop because like, holy shit, it's Rayleigh. But he's like, I'm gonna be real. I'm really glad they did that because I wouldn't have been able to stop him.
That was so good, yeah.
So it's like, it's always been like, to what degree is Shanks in that same position? And I also wonder like, okay, well, what if he's not the raw power emperor? Because we have some pretty raw power emperors.
Yeah, he could be the politics emperor or something.
That's the thing. I'm like, what if he's just surrounded himself like Luffy with friends who will have his back no matter what, and that's why he's so popular. I think this was the chapter where like Oda grabs our face and he's like, no, he really is that fucking strong.
He really is that fucking guy. Like he's him. But but also like he is also still, I think, the politics.
He really is
cool friends kind of pirate. I like how they establish his fleet of lesser pirates, who he even calls them weak, and they're like, but we love you, Shanks. Like I really like that.
That was making me laugh because those first 3 people show up to confront Kid and they introduce themselves. It's like Ribatini and these other people, and Kid's like, are you fucking with me?
Now to Kid, so for me, to Kid's credit, the reason why Shanks went so hard is because Shanks saw a future sight, and if you look at this page, this is the biggest massacre in One Piece if this went through.
That's the thing. I don't think Kid is that much less powerful than him. I think this was a fight where whoever struck first would have won.
And like, so Kid took some big hits from Kaido and Big Mom, right? But here he's charging an attack, so if I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's got like his whole focus on charging for an attack, which in any battle series would mean like his guard is dropped, right? So while I'm not like a big fan of it being a one-shot, I'm also not going to go too harsh on Kid for it. I'm going to assume that Oda's trying to portray that. And like, this was a really cool use of Future Sight, which is like, Luffy's gonna have some cool moments with Future Sight, seeing some disasters like this in the future too. And he may or may not be able to stop them, which is like an exciting potential setup for that. Future Sight's been one of my favorite little things that Hockey's given us. So I'll give Kid some credit. He was about to go crazy. Like, Oda is drawing these people get torn in half. People don't get torn in half in One Piece. Like, this is severe.
They get boiled in oil instead and fall to the ground in agonizing pain.
you know, it's fine. It's different strokes.
They get hit with poison suction cups.
Yes, the deadliest of attacks. And I also feel like, so, I don't know, some people always saw Kid as like this huge rival to Luffy, and it's like, I saw Kid get compared to like a Sasuke or like the Black Clover rival or a Vegeta. I was
What?
like, no, you can't even put him in the same conversation. Kid is a rival, one of Luffy's many, and eventually, I think their stories is to be taken over by Luffy and like fall off. So this is Kid's big falling off moment, but I think what's going to be cool about this is that he's not, I don't think he's dead. Do y'all think he's dead?
I have no idea.
Really?
I don't know,
Because they mention
They do use the
he's
word destroy.
die. Yeah, destroyed, annihilated. But it's also like the ship is sinking, and the kid is a devil fruit user.
No, who dies from sinking in this? Someone should though, for real.
Yeah, but like it's like also like Shanks just fucking left. He didn't like try to save people. He like as soon as Broggy and Dory were in position.
Was this overkill or was like how do you feel about that? Because like he's like Dory, Broggy, go, and they just massacred everyone. It was crazy. This last page fucks me up.
Kid will be back in the final battle.
And the ghosts. They'll go to. They'll find the underworld.
I'm a Magna ghost.
Yeah, to speak of talk about Shanks a little bit more is I think Shanks also is like how do I explain this? But one thing that like Luffy has learned, and one key I think trait about Luffy and his crew is that Luffy trusts his crew to take care of themselves, right? And be able to like fight.
Yeah.
And know that they're not and they're gonna and he likes to believe that they're not gonna fight and get themselves killed, but he also knows that like they're more than capable enough to handle themselves. Whereas Shanks is the opposite, where like he's making sure they don't fight at all. Like he's stepping in and stopping all the fights, and like he's basically protecting weaker pirates, quote unquote, based on what I've seen here.
That's one way to interpret it, I guess. Like it's hard to say that for sure because the Straw Hats have never been in a situation where they were going to die this hard. Aside maybe from when Kaido like nuked the castle, but even then, I don't know.
But like I think the point of it being is that like Shanks would rather just burden the weight of all of their like problems, whereas Luffy is like, no, we're all here trying to fight through what we have and like get our dreams, and you are kind of holding these people and keeping them safe and not letting them potentially.
It's something we talked about in Wano too, as like a reverse parallel between Oden and Luffy, where like Oden's critical flaw was taking on too much burden. So you might be onto something there.
So I just think that's going to be, kind of a sticking point where like Shanks has this big like group of weakling pirates, but I don't know if like Luffy will respect his crew, which will be an interesting thing to happen. But I don't think that is actually going to happen. Luffy's going to be like, wow, you can just throw your teeth out, and he's talking to a guy with dentures at the beginning. I also like that Shanks has been out of the manga for so long, he had to look up Kid's Wikipedia page to figure out who he is.
Oh, shut up. I do like this. It shows that like Shanks deals with like information before these battles, which I think is really cool. I'll also say like I just like seeing Shanks deal with his crew and like actually talk to them. And, like this and the Blackbeard Pirates also getting some time to talk to each other in the upcoming chapters are stuff that I've been really needing to see these crews, like their dynamics. So that was sweet. I also point out Shanks hits him with Divine Departure, which is the attack Roger uses when he clashes with Whitebeard. So like he's doing big hockey strikes.
That page where like he obliterates Kid is great. It also, when I was reading this, I thought that was the last page of the chapter.
Yeah, the actual last page of the chapter is almost nearly as insane because Dory and Broggy bringing back the goldfish attack from Little Garden is very sick.
Yeah. Do you think they'll explain how they got there, or do you think that's going to be an SBS from Oda?
What do you mean? They're in Elbaf now. I guess they just stopped fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, after that one time where their fight got interrupted by Mr. 3, I bet they were just like, shit, man, it just doesn't feel the same.
Well, I mean, no, because we get the SBS, not the SBS, the cover page stories of like what everyone else is doing right now when we get to the time skip,
Yeah.
and they're still fighting when we last see them.
That's true. That's a good point. Maybe they were like, man, Shanks is making his move. We owe him one. We're gonna sail with him
Maybe.
to the One Piece.
Maybe, yeah.
I could see it being that, and it's not too crazy. Just to close off with Kid, he'll get up from this, and I think this will be where his character will really shine. Is the realization that his Mad Bull, like attacking the Emperors, has just led to him getting knocked off from the race, and now he's gotta come to terms with the fact that Luffy's that guy. Like Luffy's gonna be Pirate King, and seeing how he'll react to that should be really interesting. Plus, he could be in Elbaf, and if he's like lashing out at this loss, it could lead to like Luffy versus Kid as well in some way. So that could be cool. I'm excited. This is like, I actually think the Kid stocks are higher than the Kid slanderers will.
Keep
let you
investing.
know.
Just
Now, Joe, that was a Bradley point of interest. Why don't you bring up a point of interest?
I want to bring up the nuclear bomb that Garp punched into the fucking ground.
Galaxy Impact.
God damn.
That was an insane last page.
Like it's so funny because like on the One Piece Reddit, like I like to like check in when the officials come out, and people were like, oh, if Garp actually wasn't stopped by Sengoku, Aki Inu, Sakazuka might have actually died.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
It's just like, oh. And then like he also just beats the shit out of Kuzan too.
Well, hold on. Let's not be too hasty.
But it's but I think it's just interesting how like I don't know, interesting, but it's just cool to see Garp like come in and just actually buff up to his legend and tail.
Yeah, like he's a legend for a reason.
I think Garp was even harder to gauge than Shanks was, because it's like they constantly talk about how Garp is not in his prime. So it's like, well, can he keep up at all? Like, or is he like not doing so hot? So clearly he can still throw some strong attacks around at the very least. And he didn't seem like particularly fatigued after this, so I think he's just still very, very strong.
Yeah, he goes on a run every day. But no, I think that, and then considering that he is part of Sword and what that means.
Yeah, which we finally learned, like, Sword is not like a secret organization like we thought. Like, it seems like you have to announce that you're Sword. As far as, like, how Kuzan explained it, I don't know if you guys interpreted the same way. Because,
and it seems like the trade-off here is, like they still have Navy resources, so it's like, all right, look, I'm gonna go after Sword with all these Navy resources, which is cool, but if it goes if it goes to shit and there's negative consequences, the Navy can just be like, look, he's not with us, okay?
He was a Sword member. He was already on the fringes.
Like we didn't tell him to do that, so don't come to us, okay?
Exactly, yeah. Like, a big privilege they bring up is that they can clash with the Yonkos whenever they want, so, like, they can kind of mess with the power systems. And I like how Kuzan's like, just give it up, Teach. Like, they're not gonna scram for him. But Blackbeard's confident that the hero of the Rocky Port incident, which I wonder if we'll get to see that, because that gets brought up like every once in a while, and it seems like it was a conspiracy or like a weird inside job. But I mean, that's just like the vibe I get. We may never know, or it might just be kind of straightforward. But it was a very big important thing that happened in between the time skip. One thing I really like about this, first of all, how is Garp's ship flying? Like, this is so weird. I don't know what's happening there.
I think Garp literally punches the back and it sends it forward.
That's what I think. I think he did like a shockwave punch backwards and flew the ship, which is insane.
Yeah, we were seeing a lot of like old and new Devil Fruits all at once, so I wasn't sure if one of them was doing it or if that's what happened.
Well, that's the thing, right? None of them match, because Tashigi and Helmeppo are on the boat, I think is what it's showing us, and neither of them could do that. Unless, if Helmeppo can do this now, holy shit. That's a big blow up. I really like the Sword members we get introduced to, though. They got a cute crew here. They got Granny Suru's granddaughter with their like masochism fruit where she can whip stuff into shape. Like, she's moving buildings by whipping them. That's so weird, but okay. I don't think Hibari has a devil fruit, but she is using. So a couple cover pages ago, Vegapunk won the Nobel Prize, or like the One Piece knockoff equivalent, for creating a technology that turns bullets into flowers. And that's what Hibari's using here. So that's really cool to incorporate
cool.
that from the cover story. Oda's crazy. Like 99% of people won't pick that up, and I think I only saw that on like Twitter or Reddit or something.
Have y'all seen the fucking rumors or like theories about Hibari that she's Sakazuki's either granddaughter or daughter potentially?
I have seen this, and the reason why those theories exist is because they're the only two characters that speak with like a particular like Southern Japanese accent. They're like in all of One Piece, they're the only characters that talk like that. I just think that would be really funny because Hibari probably has a crush on Kobe, as we see. It's just like, I packed you a box lunch. So Kobe showing up to Akainu's doorstep and taking Hibari out to dates. He's like, this little fucking kid who stood up to me in Marineford.
Luffy's gonna have to punch her through the chest.
Fair is fair, Kobe. See ya.
I saw someone's custom cover page where like it was like Kobe goes to meet the parents of Hibari. And he's opening the door and they're just both like staring at each other.
Do you remember the scene from Spider-Man Homecoming where Peter finds out that the Vulture's his date's dad? I'm feeling those vibes.
Yeah.
And then we got Prince Groose that we saw in a cover story not too long ago with his big hat. He's got the Glorp Glorp fruit, which is just a fun name.
So stupid.
So my main point to bring up would be 1081, which is the Kuzan chapter. Y'all, here's the new tea that I'm bringing you. I think Kuzan might be one of the best written characters in One Piece, and that might sound strange to say because he doesn't get the most screen time, and this is why, like, as long as One Piece is, it's kind of a series where you have to like either revisit every once in a while or reread at times, because if you track like his journey, it's actually like the most nuanced and kind of maybe morally gray is an apt word here, like, because so he has always been the Marine who kind of knows what they're doing is cruel, but he knows that it's for a good cause. So you go back to the Ohara incident, he's like, he knows Saul's not a bad guy. He knows that Robin is just a child, but for the greater good and to make that thing meaningful, he has to stick to the mission. But he makes a bet that day. He bets that Robin, if he lets her go, she won't become like the devil of Ohara that the world thinks she'll be. She won't like actually resurrect the weapons and like upstage the world government in a negative way. So he makes that bet, and it comes to fruition when like he lets her go in Water 7, because like at the end of Enies Lobby, he's there. He could easily capture her. No one's gonna stop him. But he lets her go. They have like that talk where they're like standing on opposite sides of a wall, which is a cool scene. But even after that, it's like a spark in him, but it doesn't cause him to defect yet. Because you get to Marineford, he's still working for the Marines. And he only really defects when he realizes that the regime under Akainu will not like... it's like he's softening up his heart on like what justice is, and he knows that the regime under Akainu won't work, which is where we pick up on this chapter where he lost. And I think it's just like a really cool humanizing flashback to have him like drinking away his sorrows in a bar, and he's talking about how like his injury, he's making fun of Akainu. Like, this is a really good chapter for the Blackbeard Pirates and Kuzan. Like, it's just making every character involved a little more fleshed out, a little more enjoyable as well. And it ends with like that declaration that he is the 10th captain that we heard about way back when, but we never got a confirmation who it was. So like his journey has been long and spread out, but it's really interesting.
That's what's really cool to me, because he feels different than a lot of One Piece characters to me, because in One Piece, characters tend to have their like ideology that they have a lot of resolve in, and that's kind of what a lot of One Piece arcs are, is that, you know, Luffy and his crew has their ideology and the villain has their ideology, and they're gonna fight, and they clash, and then Luffy wins because his ideology of friendship and justice is stronger. But in general, in One Piece, I feel like characters are pretty unflinching as far as what they're all about, which is why he's so interesting to me, because he's a rare example of such a powerful character going through a journey.
Yeah. And like I feel like he's where Smoker will end up as well at some point. I also think it's interesting that Tashigi's going off with Sword, but Smoker's not right now. So Tashigi's not Sword.
Well,
But
Smoker's injured still. Like they mentioned that. Like he's still recovering, I think.
what? I do not remember that.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why Tashigi had to go is that like
Injured from
Smoker
what?
from Doflamingo ganking his ass from way back when.
That is not. Hold on, you misread. That is not the. I refuse to believe that's true. It's
Let
been
me
it's been months in story.
I know.
People heal in a week in One Piece, sometimes a day. Nah, he's chilling. I think he's just not there. He's just like they don't talk about Smoker. I'm bringing that up because I think if you trace like Tashigi and Smoker's journey, which is another one of those, it's even more. It's less spread out than Kuzan, but still pretty spread out. And you go back to that scene in Alabasta where like they're talking about like their justices, and I think a gist of that scene is Smoker going like, Tashigi, if one day like you truly believe in a justice that's different than mine, you should fight for it and don't let me hold you back. And that's because they were helping the Straw Hats, and Tashigi was frustrated that they had to work with pirates. And I feel like we're gonna end at a point where Smoker splinters off and is not even Sword, and becomes a rogue element, and Tashigi stays with the Marines, and they are like on separate sides of that final war for a little bit. Tashigi will come around; she's a good person. But I can see that happening. I also think it's cool because Kuzan's like, look, Sword is not enough. You guys are still part of the machine, even though you can say no to certain orders. You're still perpetuating the world government. I had to fully leave and join pirates that I knew would better fit my interest. And, like, he doesn't obviously align with Blackbeard's morals, so I don't think it'd be a surprise if he breaks off from Blackbeard one day. Which brings my question. So, there was a big theory that, like, Kuzan's Sword, but these last two chapters, I think, pretty confidently say he's not, unless like they're double playing us, and he's like, I'm super secret Sword, only Garp knows I'm Sword, which I think at this point is a little less interesting than a full change. Like I think if he like fully left, it's more interesting now than being a super secret agent for the Marines. I don't know if you guys agree, if like, or basically, what do you think his goal is? Is he truly left the Marines? And if so, what do you think his main goal is? Because we cut away before we can get any real explanation for that.
I think he's just doing his best, and if that means being Sword, then it means being Sword.
But doing his best to what end? Like, what would cause him to join the strongest pirates who are morally clearly not correct? Blackbeard's not the evilest guy, but still pretty evil.
That's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of motivations in this story that are still in the dark.
Joe, do you
I
have
feel
any
like
ideas?
I feel like he's just very hard against Akainu. Like there's whatever he's cooking, that magma boy. I think he's just like really strongly against it, and which is obvious. But like it's interesting because it's like to a point where like he's the seeds. I do think like I think like this is like he is like out of the Marines. I don't think him and Garp would be having these blows.
Yeah, like they're not fake. I don't feel like they're faking it to sell the act right now. It feels real to me.
Yeah, so it's like I really, as to like what he's thinking of, I'm not really sure. Like,
so I have some strong ideas. I want to bring up that chapter 1077 opens with an Ohara incident reminder, like a sus refresher. And we got the Ohara 1 stuff with Robin earlier this arc. And then, when he's in the bar, he starts talking and reminiscing about the past, and he talks about, and let me read it out. Poneglyphs, got no good memories about him. If I'd seen one of those red stones at Ohara, I wouldn't forget it. But all I remember was a good friend fighting against the government, and the sad, lonely eyes of a little girl whose fate rested in the palm of my hands. And as he's saying that, the Blackbeard pirates don't care. They're talking about how they're going to turn on Kuzan. He's like, what the? I can hear y'all. So it's like, I feel like ever since he lost to Akainu, he's been really thinking about his actions in Ohara and like really looking at what he once saw as a necessary harsh action as just a pure act of evil. And like the way he talks about the little girl whose fate was in the palm of his hand, like he's going through it. He's drunk and he's thinking about his past right now. And we got that Ohara reminder. We got like Vegapunk. The whole reason he's getting chased down right now is because of Ohara stuff. Oda is really going back to those roots, and I didn't think he'd go back this hard, which is really exciting. So, if I had to guess, Blackbeard joined the pirate crew that he thought would be most, like, the one that would be most capable of either getting Poneglyph research or going after Robin for real. And I think ultimately he's doing this for Robin, which is going to end up as one of the coolest character arcs in the series, which is why I'm so excited about like the future of this character, because I really do think Robin's in his mind, and like he would break off with the Blackbeard Pirates if it meant helping Robin and the Straw Hats. So I don't know. Let me know if that's a hot take, but I think those are his intents here with the Blackbeard Pirates for now. And I feel like the Kuzan stocks are higher than ever. And like I've always loved the character, but I've never thought we would be spending this much time on him. And not only did we like get a very what I feel like very enlightening flashback on like what he's going through right now, but we also are setting up for more. Like this is just like a springboard for even more Kuzan content. So I'm very excited, and we get the page where he's finally introduced, and we also get like he's a protege. He was a protege of Garp, so Garp is like fighting one protege for the sake of another. This is a really cool section of the story for me. Do you think Garp is going to beat Kuzan though?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Let's power scale. Put your power scaling hats for a second. We'll take them off after.
I will say that Garp did just fully resist Kuzan and threw him down a hole that he made.
I mean, Doflamingo broke out of ice too. It can happen. And he threw down, but that's like one blow exchange for each. Bradley, do you have any horse in this race?
I have no idea. He is way stronger than I thought he would be, though. Like, I didn't think he would be that strong.
I'm going to say that Kuzan wins at high diff, as the kids say. It's going to be a high difficulty fight. The reason why is that if Garp is out here beating the admirals, like the top tier admiral, which like Kuzan's pretty much tied with Akainu, I think it devalues the admirals a little too much if like Garp was stronger than all of them. So I think either through help or through like just a hard fought fight, Kuzan's gonna walk out of this, and it'll be a big event when we get to it. It'd be interesting if Garp gets killed by Kuzan, and then like Kuzan has to deal with that guilt.
Interesting.
I
don't think that will happen.
It's far fetched, but you know it'd be cool. Some other cool stuff in this chapter though. Is the Lost stuff, which I will formally announce that Beppo finally did it. I can't hate him on him too much. Gotta give him props.
Beppo pulled through.
Good on him. Also, off-screen chopper feat, making a mink medicine for the Sulong. I would like to think that he took that super steroid that the minks gave to Zoro, and he reverse engineered a Sulong formula from that.
Yeah. Or he like figured there was some connection between his Rumble Balls and like the Sulong form potentially.
Maybe. But he doesn't turn white, so I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But no, yeah, that was great. I'm glad we finally got to see him in his Sulong form, because like I was shocked that this didn't happen at all during Wano. Like
a big reason why I slandered this boy is that he did shit all in the war. Killer and Zoro are up there fighting for their goddamn lives against Kaido and Big Mom, and Beppo is just chilling.
He's in the fucking submarine just catching Luffy when he falls off the island.
No, I don't slander him anymore. Let's move on. Let's not. I can't be negative. I love the shot of the submarine broken though. It looks so intense.
So, what if now? Here's a crazy thought. Crazy theory time. Are you ready for this? Remember how we were trying to figure out why what's her name? The York was keeping all the CP0 people.
Yes, and I still don't have a very good answer. I
Mhm.
think I get it, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think we still know because I think you might need a bunch of bodies to get to the One Piece.
No.
You don't
What-
think so?
Why would York be going after the One Piece?
I don't know. It might be just as a way to like be like I have enough people to go get it if need be. Because also like Blackbeard captures. I could also see like Blackbeard capturing all of like Law's crew and using them for whatever they need, to like push a rock or something.
The guy with the Gura Gura fruit needs people to push a rock. It's so
I mean,
good.
yeah, but it could be like I don't know. It's just because we're seeing like large clusters of people, like in a group. Like we have like all of Shanks's like all of his crew members are on Elbaf right now. We have the people just being chilling at inside the laboratory and just being kidnapped. And then you have all of Law's crew that I think Blackbeard will end up capturing and taking and holding on to.
I don't
know.
Side note, it's cool that the people who Law stole their hearts from to become a warlord are in the Pirate Island. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I think the reason why she captured the CP agents is because she caught wind that the deal she made with the Celestial Dragons was going to involve her getting killed anyways. I think she alludes to that. So she started capturing them as like insurance of like, well, shit, look, I'll let them go if you actually follow through your deal. That's the vibe I'm going with.
I will say I presented that theory to you last time and you said no.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. I thought that I said no because the world government wouldn't care. So, I mean, she could just be wrong.
Yeah,
I think
that
she
could
is
be
wrong.
it. But I still think there's something a little bit more going on there. Because she mentions not to harm them as well to the what's it called? Oh, what are the children called?
The Seraphim.
The Seraphim. Yeah.
I mean, that could be just like, hey, this is a bad bargaining chip if I actually hurt them. It's
yeah.
Look, let's talk this out.
That's fair.
We'll see.
but
I'm sure when like Saint Garcia shows up and maybe interacts with York, we'll get like the full scope of what she was planning.
Yeah. Let's see.
What other? Bradley, you got any other key points you want to bring up?
I kind of wanted to talk about York a little bit. I think
Yeah.
she's interesting
Me too.
because, like, on one hand, it's like well, not even on one hand. It's on both hands. Fuck you for betraying everybody. But like at the same time, I kind of get it. Where to her, it's like I'm not even the one who decided to investigate the Void Century, and now I'm getting assassinated for it, even though I'm not even the same person, but they think I'm the same person.
It's kind of interesting, right? Because it's like all I am is their shit dumpster, and I'm caught in the middle of this now. I like how she also admits, like, look, I'm the weakest one of the bunch, so I need you, Seraphim, to help me out. So I like her plan. I think it adds up as well. The page where she gets revealed, I think, is really dope. Using that big panel for like York in the top, and like I think the Stella's face looks horrified in the bottom, and the world only needs one Vegapunk is I think a pretty cool line as well.
Especially coming from the greed Vegapunk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think out of if it wasn't Punk Records, I think this is the second coolest pick Oda could have gone.
I think so. I like it.
Is Shaka dead, y'all? Is he dead for
He's
real?
fucking dead.
Dude,
He's
here's
gone.
the thing. That panel where he got shot, I was like, this looks so slightly more visceral than people getting shot normally does.
Okay,
in One
yeah.
Piece.
Go to the end of 1078 and look at the size of the fucking gun he got shot with. He got shot with a cannon.
So
Yeah.
I
I would
would-
break it to y'all.
I think also you could just see his brains on the floor basically in one of the panels.
It's
while he's-
bloody. I thought that the shot bounced off the helmet. I don't think he's dead because it's One Piece, and even if he is, I think his memories can be stored to a second Shaka body.
He's
I bet
arc,
there's.
he, you know
I
what?
bet they
He's
have backups.
Yeah.
he's the arc dead. There's two different deads in
Yeah,
One Piece.
yeah, yeah.
There's real dead and there's dead for the rest of the arc.
There's three.
Look at this.
There's three. There's real dead, arc dead, and post arc dead, where Oda will wait till the end. So like Konus' dad from Skypiea, he was post arc dead.
Yeah, he was post arc
Yeah.
dead.
This like, look at this man. Half his head is gone.
Yeah, he's looking rough, dude.
No, he'll be okay. He'll be fine.
I do think there's probably backups. Like he probably backed up everyone's personality, kind of a thing. And I'm just curious, like what these bodies are, if they're
That's the
actually
thing,
people.
Like Oda still hasn't like explained it yet, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I think so. Let's talk about the Great Incident. Wait, a little bit more about York. I'm suddenly very interested in her. Also, she's a giant lady, so that's hot.
Yeah.
But like, I'm very interested in seeing her reasonings really for wanting to be a celestial dragon. Maybe because she's the greedy one. It's like, look, I already live like a snob who just eats all day. Like, I might as well rise to the top of it. So I don't know. I'm very interested in New York, and that's the thing. Egghead has been very cool, right? But I've been getting very invested in the plot line as soon as we got to like inside the dome, and it was revealed that there was a traitor. And we're kind of like in a mystery death game, and then we get the reveal, and then we cut away for 4 chapters straight. And those 4 chapters are peak. They're fantastic. But I was like, damn it! I was just getting in there. And
This is Egghead Part 1 we finally finished. Now we gotta wait for Egghead Part 2.
I will say I've caught wind of the subject matter of next chapter. Would you like to know in a vague sense as a little appetizer?
Hit me.
Next chapter, if I've read the room right, is Cross Guild, which is also very good.
I've been wondering what those motherfuckers are doing.
So, like, again, we're not going back, but we're gonna get more peak fiction. So it's like Oda's just giving me what I want, but also not giving me what I want.
He's driving up, I think, the final race. Like we're getting to, it's like we're implementing all the warlords now, especially because Luffy is one. Like
At
there's
first,
no, there's no higher. Like we've hit the ceiling Oda established way back in Water 7. Like it's like this is like these are the 4 people you are gonna have to beat in order to become the pirate.
Like
king.
Luffy is, and it's crazy to finally say it. I think Luffy's a top 5, like top 10 at worst, most powerful people alive, which is crazy.
Yeah,
we got there.
I would say easily top 6 or 8.
Yeah, I would say he's at least like gotta be in that 8 range.
What?
Unless M,
How
like
do you
if M can throw hands for real, then maybe like M's up there. But I don't know.
But I just, what is Buggy gonna do? Like
He's gonna do it. He's gonna become the Pirate King somehow.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna fumble his way to victory.
That would be
wouldn't
insane.
surprise me.
If Luffy realizes he doesn't want to be Pirate King because of like some implications, and Buggy becomes Pirate King, do you think people would hate that for eternity? Like they would say, "Don't read One Piece because Luffy doesn't become Pirate King."
Oh, there would be a solid at minimum 25% of the One Piece fans would say that.
I'd say like a 15. I'll be a little more generous. But they will be a vocal 15, let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's fucking bullshit that Luffy chose not to be Pirate King when he wanted. He said that's in chapter 1.
Not for nothing, but for like
yeah.
600 chapters, we've known that being Pirate King isn't even Luffy's ultimate dream. Like he's had this whole other dream cooked up for a very long time, and we have no idea what it is still. So I don't know. Maybe he's like, I don't need to be Pirate King to accomplish my dream.
Yeah, I think the implications is an important part. I think Captain John's treasure might play into this final arc as well too.
Yeah, Buggy's been looking for it since the start.
Unless Buggy, like the way he was able to like fund Cross Guild was with Captain John's treasure, which I could also see happening. But I don't remember that being mentioned at all when we were.
I feel like I don't know. That would feel wrong because then Buggy accomplished his dream from the first time he was introduced. Like he wanted to get all the treasure because of Captain John's treasure because he couldn't get it from the Devil Fruit or whatever. So that'd be weird. Like he's a post dream character.
Yeah, but sometimes dreams continue.
True. Maybe that's the lesson.
but yeah, like it feels like Oda's like it's like this. It's time where it's going to be a proper battle royale. Everyone's going to be on their boats sailing to this island, shooting cannons at each other, and Luffy's going to hop skip his way over to the to whatever till Raft till.
I feel like we're
Laugh
not
Tale.
skipping Elbaf. For a little while there during Wano, I thought we might skip Elbaf.
I don't think we're gonna skip it either. I feel like,
I feel like we're going.
yeah, I feel like we're gonna head there, and we're gonna have like one more. We're gonna have like one quick conflict with Shanks.
I've seen the idea tossed of a 4-way Davy back fight once we get to Elbaf.
That would be so sick, and everyone would hate it.
It would be Kid, the Kid's lifeless body coming up for Salty, the Salty rematch, Shanks,
Yeah.
and Boogie. Because, think about it, Boogie's got the whole pirate theme that is such a, the Davy back fight is like a whole show when it happens in the
Oh, yeah.
Foxy arc. So Boogie
Yeah.
would bring that energy. He would be the
Yeah.
new Foxy.
It's true.
I don't think people would dislike it. I think it would be very hype.
I could also see it being like they're about. I'm still akin to like the underworld door or something like that at One Piece.
That's just us. Apparently, that's
Yeah.
a hot take.
But like I would love it if it's kind of like a weird Dragon Ball Super. This sounds stupid, but like in Dragon Ball Super, like the closing arc of that anime is like two people just want to see a really good fighting tournament. But it'd be kind of cool if like Buggy's about to get fucking obliterated and convinces like Joe Boys goes like, wait, what if we did this? Wouldn't that be way more entertaining than us just punching each other to death?
Wait, Joy Boy's the one holding this tournament? The freedom guy, is making
Yeah.
people fight to the death? What?
I don't know, man.
I mean, that's a hot twist, Joe. Let's do it. Ship it.
I got someone's got to throw him out here now that
Don't
Tyler
forget-
is absent for today.
Yeah, it's true. Don't forget, Davy Jones is a character, and we still haven't gotten
It's
like
not-
the full scoop.
Yeah.
I was going through Fishman Island again, which, my God, Oda's writing was out of control in that arc. It gets better every time you go through it, and people still hate it because Hody Week. Even though Hody saying nothing is one of the best panels of One Piece, but whatever.
Oh, it's so good. I thought it was great.
But like the Davy Jones stuff has come up, and like there's Vanderdecken's family and the flying, like there's all these weird things still that could factor into some spiritual lore stuff in the end. But who
Yeah.
knows?
Like it feels like it. Like, and we had the Kabouter Man come up as well, and
Yeah.
like, there's never been like another instance of just pure like ghostly things other than like Brooks coming back to life.
And I'd say and the Grim Reaper in Wano, whatever the fuck
I
that
forgot
was.
about that.
One day we'll have an answer for that man. But like, I feel like, so for example, Shirahoshi being the Poseidon is also akin a little bit to like this weird spiritual force above anything that we can like really explain. But it's just there.
Yeah.
So all to say, I think after this Cross Guild chapter, we'll finally get back to Egghead, and I don't think we'll cut back, because when Oda left, he said that a massive incident was happening, and he uses the wording that he uses for stuff like Sambodi, or when Ace gets captured in like after Eddie's lobby from Blackbeard. Like he's using that level of wording, and also the wording that he used when he made the Grand Fleet in Dressrosa, and he's like, they were going to take place in a huge incident, but that's a story for later. I think they're about to start this massive incident, and I would like to ask you guys, what do you think it is?
Luffy explodes.
Okay, cool. Good theory.
Luffy explodes, huh? I think maybe what information they have already gathered about the Void Century will leak.
That's what I was thinking, something like that too.
That would be it, I think. Like,
Because I can't think of anything more devastating for the government.
Yeah.
Vegapunk like sends out like a big email call or like hijacks all the snails in the world and they start talking.
Does he even need to do that when he's been working on global Wi-Fi, and that's been
Yeah.
brought up? And don't
Yeah.
forget that. So when York is talking to Seraphim Boa, she's like, "Okay, but there's one room. No matter what, you can't do fighting in that room because you can't break it. There's like a almost 100% chance that they're going to break what's in that room and fuck everything up." And I've seen a good theory that the one to do it would be Frankie. Because I think when they talk about the room, they show like a button, or like they alluded to the room with like a button with a skull flag on it. And during the time skip, Frankie went to that island with Vegapunk, and he saw a big button with a pirate flag. As he saw it, he's like, "Oh, button press," and it blew up the whole island. So I think Frankie's going to stumble in a button and press it, or Luffy will just destroy the room doing weird Gear 5 shit.
Could potentially be the room with oh god, what's his name? Paw Man's his memories in it.
Ooh, if all the Kuma memories get leaked and like, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Kuma is clearly like he's a tyrant, so the world government calls him. So I'm with you. I think like Punk Hazard or Punk records will break or something, and it'll leak bad information to the world. Maybe that's like because the world like is coming around to the world government being evil, but maybe like some real heinous stuff will become like incontrovertible fact, and that'll lead to every nation joining the revolution. And then M says, "All right, let's press the backspace button and start again." New Void Century, new world.
You're all living in a simulation. It's been the Matrix the whole time.
Look, man, Oda could pull it off.
Could he?
Yeah,
Could
he
he?
could.
Luffy still explodes though. You know, what'd be wild. You know what would actually be wild is that they learn about once again sticking to our shitty underworld theory, but like Luffy does die somehow, and Vegapunk mentions like if you can find the One Piece, you can bring him back.
But then
and
they
it's-
gotta find the One Piece without Luffy.
Yeah, but then it's just like it's the crew coming together to save Luffy.
So, Joe, that'll happen
Yeah.
when Luffy
Yeah.
catches the disease that Brooks Captain and Roger caught when they
Yeah.
got that disease and they almost died. I mean, they did die.
Yeah, it's called Adventuring Disease, and
Exactly.
Buggy almost got it, but he stayed behind. with,
That's the
Shanks.
thing. Buggy suspiciously got sick back then. I don't know, man. I think Luffy's gonna catch big badass disease, and Chopper's gonna have to fix it, and they'll have to do an arc without Luffy. I would welcome it.
What if Brooks already knows what the One Piece is because they just accidentally stumbled upon it back when he was an OG pirate and no one else was? That would be wild. Also,
like-
we haven't heard anything about Brooks' kingdom. That's another kind of like
A
thread hanging
potential thread. It could
Yeah.
be expanded on. It could not. I saw in SBS Oda did Zoro's family lineage, and everyone was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Oda did Zoro's backstory in SBS." I was like, guys, a family lineage is not a backstory.
there.
Did you know that Bradley's backstory is that he was born to his mom and dad? That that was his pivotal like moment of existence.
I think also it's just we're at the point where it's like we need some of these things could be kind of sped through. Like we could. Oda's just more of like, look, this isn't his dad, but they are related in some way. But that's not his dad. Just
Yeah,
relax.
Like, it was drawing thematic parallels, but like they didn't impact Zoro in any way.
Yeah, which is sad. Other than, I just want to talk about this fucking Grim Reaper. I think it's so weird. Like, it's bizarre. This Grim Reaper that Zoro saw, it's so strange. I don't get.
We'll get
It kind of freaks me out.
We'll get. I'll put in money today that we will address the Grim Reaper one day. It might take 200 chapters, but we'll get there.
Is it connected to the cursed sword? Maybe is that the cursed sword coming up to kill Zoro?
It could be. But then the
That'd
curse
be-
sword failed, so I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Like that
We'll,
man.
we'll get it.
somehow-
We'll get it. Zoro will flash back to it for sure.
Oh, get away from me! God, that was weird. It was just.
It was
So bizarre.
such a non sequitur. All right, last
Yeah.
call. Last call for any little things. What y'all got? What y'all got?
I think that's it.
I like that meme you sent of Hibari telling Kobe to get the fuck out of there because Garp was about to drop a tactical nuke.
Yeah, that was good. That was a cute.
All for little old me.
If Bradley, if you didn't see that, scroll up a little bit, and I posted like a funny picture of like a Hibari Kobe meme. All right, y'all, that was good. Like I said, I think we'll get to Egghead again soon, and we won't cut back. So we're gonna, whenever we get back, it's going to be crazy because there's also Blackbeard pirates showing up. I did mention that.
Yes. Oh yeah, I thought that was gonna be Kuzan when that ship showed up.
Me too, but clearly it's not. So I think it's going to be
No.
Lafitte and Katarina Devon, like the shape-shifting lady. that they got, which is cool because Lafitte's always been cool, and I want to see more of Katarina.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? That's just kind of weird. But that Pirate Island is a dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I really like.
That's cool.
It's like Pika's fruit, but way stronger. But I really like Al Pizarro's fruit, which is he drinks more and gets stronger, like the Booze fruit.
Yeah.
That's a very piratey devil fruit.
There were some really cool fruits in these chapters.
I just really liked seeing the Impel Down Blackbeard pirates actually interact with each other to like kind of get some characterization, because they were just kind of very background characters. I was like, well, we'll get to them eventually, but when?
Yeah.
And we're starting now.
Also, San Juan ate the giantification fruit, so now he's actually just huge.
He was a giant who ate the giant fruit, so he's
Yes.
never gonna be like small, because we see him sitting by the bar, and like that's the smallest he'll get, which is still massive.
Yeah.
God.
He's gonna get bigger.
I guess that's how they fit him in Impel Down. They found a room big enough for his normal size.
Can you believe that guy was hiding behind Marineford the entire time?
He's
That's
like-
kind of wild.
Yeah, he goes, "You found me!" Like he's peeking through the building.
Yeah.
I think Ace just died, and you flip a page, and he's like, "Huh?" It's the craziest tonal shift. Okay. Well, we'll catch up on One Piece in another rough 5 to 6 weeks. I like stocking up chapters in this way because we're doing it in the same length but way more content. And yeah, thanks for chatting One Piece, and I hope you guys like this section because I thought this was a really good batch. And I look forward to the next batch too.
Hell
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.